So back in the 7th generation of consoles, which I would call the home screen generation, since it would always turn onto a home screen instead of going straight into a game when the disc was inserted, most players saw the start of online console gaming. Yeah, last generation did also have online games, but there wasn't really a main interface for it, outside of the online menu of the game being played, and at that time developers weren't shoehorning in multiplayer to everything. So with the 7th gen bringing in home menus with social aspects like parties, messaging, sending letters, gamer score, stuff like that, there's gotta be a way to customize your profile to suit you. Yeah, you got your name, but that's simple. And you got your profile pic, those were limited at the time, and you couldn't add your own photo until the next generation. But for customization, one system had the best way to make your profile your own, even if the online wasn't as prevalent as the other systems in that generation. That system was the Wii, and it had its Miis. The Miis were amazing. Simple little customizable characters that could represent you online or sending letters. Me and my friend would spend so much time building our army of Miis. They were definitely a popular thing considering the amount of games with them in it, whether it be specifically made for them or being represented in other games. So with the popularity of them, it's no surprise that 2 years on the dot after the launch of the Wii, and 2 years before Wii Party, Microsoft introduced the 360 avatars. Essentially the Miis of the 360, but they were more detailed in the face and body-wise, but nowhere near as charming or creative as the Miis. The one thing they have over the Miis is they have real outfits instead of just blue. The cool thing is they could have been bought through the store or actually unlocked through gameplay. Anyways, if you have Miis, that means there's also gotta be games starring them. Like Wii Party, the greatest game of all time. So, Xbox avatars have, well, not too much, and certainly not even close to the Wii lineup. They got stuff like the GOAT, that is Doritos Crash Course, some racing games that add them in like the Miis on Mario Kart, a small amount of games that you can use them as your player character instead of what the game gives you, and the countless Kinect games that I ain't touching. But there was one group of developers that took the mantle in building a library of games for these wannabe Miis. That being, of course, the indie game developers. From what I remember, the indie game store was flooded with Avatar-involved games. Mainly because Microsoft definitely wanted them to be the face of the 360. They were on the ads, on the point cards, and the Xbox Gold. Unfortunately, for as big of a flood as they had, I only got 5 games and 1 demo. And I also don't have any of the big ones that still kinda get brought up today, like Castle Miner, the Minecraft before Minecraft came out on the 360, or Castle Miner Z, the sequel to Minecraft before Minecraft, or Castle Miner Warfare, I think you get it. Let's get into what I do have with... Okay, let's start with the one I got the least to talk about. Avatar Paintball. It's a simple, online, multiplayer, third-person shooter. You get thrown into the game because there's only one map, then run around shooting other players, or in most cases cardboard cutouts, since nobody's online. You can get enough points to get a new gun that changes either the way it shoots or how many points you earn when you hit someone. And do that till someone wins or you get bored of cardboard cutouts. The thing that surprises me the most is, well, thanks to the 360 Gold still being active, it's still online. Me and my friends managed to get into a game together, but it did take a couple attempts, meaning weirdly there's more than one server. Well, with it still being online, that only means one thing. All the 360 owners that still have the game must come together and see who is the best Avatar Paintballer. If not, I will remain king of Avatar Paintball. Nintendo has Smash. PlayStation has All-Stars. What does Xbox get? Pay Avatar Rumble 2. Avatar Rumble 2 is the 360 version of Smash with all the best indie game maps. Yeah, weirdly they had a bunch of games, but instead of making a Smash clone crossover, they just added a bunch of maps from other games onto an Avatar game. So it's like Super Smash Bros, but take away all the fighters but the Miis, which to me is great since I'm a Mii main, but this game is lackluster. I think the worst problem with this game is that it's offline multiplayer, which of course isn't a bad thing. We need games to keep stuff like that and couch co-op alive. But the problem is that it's offline multiplayer only. So no online, no bots, not even any training unless you count plugging in 2 controllers when you're by yourself training. Now, talking about the game, it is very basic. You choose between different playstyles. You get Mii Brawler, Mii Sword Fighter, Mii Gunner, and Mii Hammer. I mean, Avatar Brawler, Sword Fighter, Magic, and Hammer. Each of them have 8 to 10 different moves, but they feel too slow to really make a combo besides a simple 2-hit button combo. The one thing I have to give this game is the eliminations, because every other game that tried to copy Smash around the time always seemed to have a problem with eliminations, whether they were too slow or you had to wait for a special meet in order to pull one off. As for the crossover part, most maps are from the developer Boot Disc Revolution, the person who made Bleed. We got maps from Bleed, Frequency, Plucky's 3D Adventure, Grapple Boy. Then we got Guppy Collects 2 from the same company as Avatar Rumble, which actually also has involvement from Boot Disc. We have the totally real and original Voxel game, and the Big Gun, the Impossible game. They're pretty good representations of the games. The Impossible Game 1 is great. It's not because it's a good stage, but it's basically the first part of the Impossible game with avatars fighting over it. So it's like a moving stage, like Pac-Land from Smash, or you can make it sad and turn off stage hazards and just have one sad triangle in the corner. With friends, it was a pretty fun game. It's a fine game though. On to the next. Avatar Stealth is the one demo I have, so I can't go into much details because I only got 8 minutes to play it. But what is Avatar Stealth? Well, Avatar Stealth is... well, what else would it be? It's Metal Gear VR missions. It's blue, there's stealth, no weapons, and you can do this. The one thing I really like about this one, well, from what I played, is that it's randomly generated. I don't know if it's fully randomly generated or they just cycle through a bunch of different maps during a playthrough, but I like it. I mean, it's simple stuff like more walls, more rooms, or more robots. Other than that, it's got your basic stealth stuff. Stay out of the line of sight, pay attention to the sound of your footsteps, take cover behind walls. The robots go from alert red to cautious yellow and calm blue when they see you, and other Metal Gear-y mechanics. Not too much more to say, and the demo time limit is up, so on to the next full game. Avatar Trials Ninja Uprising is a simple platformer. To be honest, just like the others, there's not too much to talk about either. It's an obstacle course platformer where you run, jump, wall jump, and grab ledges. Basic platformer stuff. One cool thing that also can get annoying is basically you have to do the whole course in one go, unless you're on practice mode, but you can't proceed to the next course and can't beat the game. So, no checkpoints. If you get toward the end and fall down, you're back at the start. And some of these levels can get long and difficult. There's only 3 stages in the game, so it's not long at all. There's also this dragon that will make fun of you every time you fail.
Dragons are cooler than you, and they don't even exist. If you find it hard to laugh at yourself, I would be happy to do it for you. If you were on fire and I had water, I'd drink the water. Good job. But my grandmother beat this faster than you.
Nothing much else to say, so next game. Now time for the worst game I have. Avatar of the Dead. Now, I could be wrong, but I think this is one of the games that came out when the mod DayZ and zombie survival games were at their most popular. Or at least when everybody was ripping them off, since Apox Z was the same year. So it's like that, right? Survival, combat, rummaging for supplies, keeping your meters up, right? Well, it's not, but there is an easy way to describe what this game is. Darkness. This game is way too dark on my TV for a majority of the game, even with the brightness all the way up. There's a few spots you can actually see, like the road and a couple places with lights, but it seems to be better in the actual recording. To be honest though, there's not much to see since this sandbox is empty. Just a few buildings here or there that can't even be entered, so they're kinda just set dressing. Oh, but you can find like 2 different weapons spread around. And the draw distance is horrendous, so it's not like you even know where you're walking to till you're basically in front of it. As for the actual gameplay, it's very rough. There's not really an objective, so it's walking in the dark on an empty plane looking for weapons that aren't good. When you get them, they take up most of the screen, and the guns have infinite ammo. You don't even need to reload. So just shoot forever, that is, if you can find a zombie to kill, because they are 1, so spread out you can't find them, and 2, don't show up in groups, so it's just walking an empty area to kill 1 zombie, and then back to walking to find another zombie to kill. And it's not like the other survival games, which would be fine since you're more worried about meters and rummaging for loot. They should have just made waves of zombies since the main point of the game is just killing them, but they don't. Lastly, and the least of its problems, so I don't know why I put it last, is the controls. They're a bit weird. Instead of the nice triggers for shooting and hitting, you use B and the triggers are used to switch weapons. Now enough of that. Let's see this concept done right in another Avatar game. Now, last but not least, Deadburg. Deadburg is Minecraft, with guns, in a city, with avatars. Now, this is the same concept as Avatar of the Dead, but done right. It's just a basic survival game, but based off Minecraft with semi-round base mechanics. The gameplay is you're rummaging through randomly generated cities, picking up weapons, health items, building supplies, and crafting supplies. Since it's Minecraft inspired, you can destroy everything to get building blocks to make your mega survival fortress. While you do that, there's a day for night cycle, so once a day passes, the zombies will get harder. Basically a new round where their health will get larger and their hits do more damage. My old save file from back in the day is on day 30. The city in this game is a bunch of basic buildings randomly generated into one big city, so you'll be seeing the same building over and over, but with different colors and different items. It's basic, but I'm a sucker for exploring these types of games, so it was right up my alley. As for different game modes, I only ever played 1, but there's 2 terrains. Normal cities where it was untouched, or apocalypse mode, aka going too far out on the Minecraft map so nothing loads right. It randomly takes out chunks of the world, no matter where it was, like a whole building but 1 block just floating in the air, half a tree, or other weird spots. This is definitely the Avatar game I've played the most. And thankfully it's one of the few that actually managed to get ported to somewhere else. The only thing is you play as an avatar and the zombies are goofy and look nothing like the avatars. And the zombies and the avatars just don't fit the blocky world, but I don't really mind that. It's still a fun game and still my favorite out of all the other Avatar games I have. Now, after all that, would I say the 360 avatars are better than the Miis? Not even close thanks to a lack of Wii Party, but they're fun and interesting. Of course my collection doesn't even come close to showing the classics and the weirdness that flooded the service. Stuff like Avatar Warfare, Baby Maker Extreme now featuring avatars, Avatar, and Avatar Fart. But with the huge list of games, there's no telling that the indie developers carried the avatars, and most of them were definitely worth the dollar. Now, for rating these, I don't review things, nor would I know how, so I'll just list them from worst to best. The bottom is easily Avatar of the Dead. Then to Avatar Paintball because it's mostly an online game and we know there ain't that many people left online. After that is Avatar Rumble for the complete opposite reasons of Avatar Paintball. Then Avatar Stealth followed by Avatar Ninja Trials and my favorite being Deadburg. With all that out of the way, I guess now all that's left to say is Wii Party is the best game ever made, better than anything Xbox can make, and if anyone says otherwise, I will give them the remote while playing Time Bomb at the last second.